Hi everyone, I'm Mel Gabby, and welcome to this series of Change, Grow and Transform. So, before I tell you about the program, I just want to check with you if you're new to personal development, done a range of personal development programs before, read lots of books, but don't know where to start, and feel a little bit overwhelmed by all the information out there. I've created a 30-day program based on positive psychology, neuroscience, psychotherapy, law of attraction, spirituality, and philosophy that helps you with small day to day processes that can move you further towards awakening your inner power, your self worth, growth, and even living a happier, healthier, and more abundant life. So, if you're new to this, that's fine. Start, give it a go. But the consistency is key. So, doing something small every day leads to much bigger and longer term changes. And I'll talk a little bit about my story in between these videos to let you know kind of what motivated me and why this is important that I share this information out there. I've got 25 years of experience of working in the mental health and wellbeing field, whether that's working as a psychotherapist, a coach, running services, mental health services, working with parents, families, professionals over the years, and also designing and overseeing the delivery of programs across the UK. There are some fundamental things that when people start to develop in awareness and start to make some small shifts using the range of tools that are out there that also have the research behind them now can actually start to make a big difference to your life. So, regardless of whether or not you feel in a funk, you're stuck, confused, don't know where to start, feeling overwhelmed, you can start somewhere. And that is just dedicating 10 minutes to 30 minutes every day, whether it's in the morning or the evening, to your own growth, happiness, and personal development. It's an inside job mostly. There are lots of things out there that can make us feel happier and more abundant. But fundamentally, most humans need the basics, which is somewhere to live, a roof over your head, running water, and access to food and warmth when you need it. We also need connections and time doing things that we enjoy, hobbies, experiences, adventures, all the different things that support you in your well-being on a day-to-day basis. However, if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't know where to go next in my life, I don't know what I want and what I'm looking for, then commit to the program for 30 days. If you want to see earlier things that I've done, I was running a program in March and also had one last year. So some of the ideas are similar. We're building on top of those, layering these processes, really important. Repetition is great for learning new skills and habits. And what we want to do is recognize old patterns that are keeping us stuck and start to implement some small changes. Like I said, the consistency is key. So if you're new to personal development or just overwhelmed by all the information and don't know where to start, then you can just commit to this. It's free. I'm sharing evidence based information, and a lot of research has gone into a lot of the things that we talk about now that I knew over 20 years ago when I started teaching this to clients. I also worked in schools with teenagers, helping them to shift out of mindsets or face issues that they were struggling with so they could actually start to carve a path before they got to their adult years. And that's where we can get even more stuck in ways of being that no longer serve us. Also, with the clients that I work with, it's a balance of being able to talk to somebody and share what your concerns and challenges are, but also coming up with a plan as to what you can do that brings some happiness, joy, satisfaction, and that can vary for different people. So there isn't one size fits all, and that's why I've created 30 different videos to go in to the 30 different days. If there's something that resonates, so listen to this introduction and then listen to day one. And if there's something that resonates in the topics, you can dive in and out of them on different days. They don't have to go in sequence. And there are a couple that will follow each other. But actually, if you're new to the information, it just helps to read it, listen to it, do the journal prompts, listen to the oracle session, tune into yourself and have that time out can make all the difference. Just having that time out to yourself and putting yourself first, at least for a certain amount of time every day, can make that big difference in how you feel overall. Um, So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit about what's happening and what motivated me to do this. Well, like I said, I've been working in the industry for a long time. And years ago, we didn't have access to the kind of information that we've got now on the internet. And it's great that we've got information out there that we can access lots of personal development information. The field of spirituality and personal development has grown exponentially. And we're all on a different stage of our journey in terms of, how happy and satisfied we are with the different facets of life. Society is also massively shifting, and that also can bring with it some excitement and anxiety, as it does when systems go through major changes, because the systems themselves also are. The world was very different when I started. People used to wait until they got into crises to access any help, and it was a stigma to go and seek any kind of counselling or psychotherapy, let alone go to see a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist. And in the medical industry, they've been using a diagnostic approach to defining what are often normal responses to difficult situations that people go through, like grief. It's normal to grieve when you lose someone that's important to you, and it's normal to grieve a job that you enjoyed and you've just been made redundant. It's normal to grieve a relationship, even if that relationship was fractious and there were lots of rows and you couldn't get on the same page, because we become attached to people, places and things, and part of the grief process is grieving that attachment and that aspect of our identity that was connected to that. So there are lots of experiences we'll have at life at different ages and stages. This program really is open to anyone beyond 18 that wants to have a bit of a deep dive and learn some things. And you may be familiar with some of the things that I discuss, but what I've also done in terms of my own journey is integrate my own spirituality, psychology, and things that I'm really interested in, as well as embedded that with the research to show that actually these things can make a difference. I've also gone through different stages in my life. I've had burnout twice, and the first episode of burnout was horrendous. I was literally just fatigued all the time, couldn't function, and that impacted me for about a year. And that was when I was coming out of sort of toxic workplace and other challenges that I was facing at the time. I had a second big impact on my life in 2019 when I had a car accident, and it was mostly focused around the physical, how the accident had massively impacted me, my body, my system, my muscles, aches and pains. And it's taken a while to come back from that. And part of that has been about me deciding that I would use the tools available to facilitate the healing process, which we can do because we all have the capacity to do that. And so at the time as well, because it was middle of 2019 when I had the accident. And of course, the next year, everything closed down and we couldn't access doctors, physiotherapists, all of that. So a lot of it I had to do myself anyway. And I talk about that more in other podcasts and talks that I do on this channel. But basically what I'm saying is I've used a lot of these tools and I still do. I have a routine and a ritual that I do every morning when I wake up. That's yoga, that's breath work, mindfulness, meditation. I'm focused on nutrition. Diet's important to me, what I put in my body, and the kind of experiences that I expose myself to, as well as how I consistently review how things are going with my work and different facets of my life. And also, the relationships that we have and who we're connected to. All of it matters. One thing in the system that's not going well can impact every other aspect. So hopefully you'll get something out of this. And this program is the second one I've recorded and put on here. And I have got 2 other programs that I'm going to be releasing, but they will be aimed at people who have already been on the journey, already done something like this, and has maybe consistently applied themselves for at least 30 days, because we start to see things that are hard to explain unless you've had the experience. Knowledge in theory is great in practice, but actually having an experience of what that's like, and whether or not you start to feel more calm, you're not reacting as much, you're happier, you're finding that you're resolving problems more easily. Because this program is designed to build resilience, emotional strength, so that you can move through more of those challenges with more grace and creating a foundation for your freedom and abundance in your life by shifting your mindset and setting clear intentions. So, this is focused attention really on developing your mind, body, and spirit. It's also about connecting with your inner wisdom and intuition and trusting yourself more deeply to move forward and not allow doubt to seep in. And more importantly, expanding your vision and stepping boldly into a new chapter of your life. So, regardless of whether you want to make big shifts or not, you'll start to experience some shifts anyway, because we can generate more confidence, more self esteem, more self value, and release those old patterns that permeate in our lives. And I was just talking to a client this morning about, regardless of how long I've been on the journey, I still have to face the things that bug me or trigger me at times. And I have to find ways of processing sometimes things that come up and sort of what's the word, gets me from out of nowhere, that I wasn't expecting. Things can be going fine. And that's the thing, if you've experienced depression and anxiety in the past for a long time, when things start to get better and improve, we can somehow not trust that and be fearful that we're going to drop back into that pit. And rather than seeing that cycle as one that we come down, we hit the pit, we experience that, and we come back up again. So the recovery, as well as the experience and the challenge, is really important. We only get that through trying things out, practicing, testing out different ideas. Okay, so that's the crux of the program. The way it works is each video is around 5 to 7 minutes long, not too long. I try and keep the information succinct. It's meant to really just help you connect with the intention, with the energy of the video, of the tarot card. I use tarot oracle. I use a mental health tip. I'll give you some journal prompts. And so the journal prompts are designed so that after I've talked through what the topic is that you can write down the journal prompts, which will also be listed in the video below, and answer those in that time. Create that sacred space for yourself so that you can do a bit of a deep dive and then see what comes to you. If you get any insight, write that in your journal as well. And journals are great because you can look back at the end of the week and have a look at what you were thinking and feeling, and you can start to map out whether or not you're starting to notice any progress in different areas of your life. Sometimes we come face to face with things that we don't like to feel, but if you trust the process, breathe through that, and get support when needed, because we all need support at different times in our life, then you'll be fine. You might even find that things just start turning away that you didn't expect. Maybe you will be happier and healthier within a week, and you get offered a new job, and people start smiling and being happier around you. Who knows? It's just about being open-minded to those possibilities. So I'm using my new little mic, so hopefully this keeps working. I have to keep checking it because this tech has failed on me several times. So I look forward to seeing you. Like and subscribe to my page so that you get the notifications for the videos when they're released. I normally release them at 6 o'clock each night because that's normally when people are starting to settle down. You can open the video, you can do it in the evening, or you can have a whiz through it and then look at it in the morning. Get a nice journal, a nice pen, find a place in the office or at home or in the car where you can just hang out for 10 minutes or 30 minutes. I hear some people say, I've got no time in the morning. And if you've got little kids and you've got lunch boxes and school uniforms to find, and you're running from one place to the next, if you can do it towards the end of the night, it's great to do it before you go to bed. But also, you've got to make sure you think about what's gone well at the end of the day as well. You don't want to go to bed with a problem mind. You want to go and be thinking about things that are working for you as well. But I'll explain that more in another video. So like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know if there are other things you'd like to learn about or me cover in a video, because it'd be great to start having that interaction. Okay, bye for now.